Dante's Boxing Nation, Dante's Cooking Nation. We are out here. Where are we at?
We're out here in Bangkok.
There you go. She's from Ireland. Matter of fact, introduce yourself to the world.
My name's Hannah and I'm from Ireland and I'm the biggest fan of culture.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Biggest fan?
And I'm from Ireland. Sorry.
No, I can edit it, don't worry about it. All the way in Bangkok, Thailand, y'all.
No,
I'm gonna get
in
it right.
Ireland as well.
In Ireland, you hear that? DBN is international,
My
guys.
churros are
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So it's official, you guys all know by now that Canelo Alvarez has signed to fight Dimitry Bivol. It's also official that he has a multi-fight deal with DAZN and Matchroom, which includes a Golovkin fight, and the third fight is either going to be against Macaboo or John Ryder. Now, the interesting thing about this multi-fight deal is before Canelo can even get to the easiest fight, he has to take on the most difficult fight out of the 3 or 4 options, which is against Bivol. Speaking of Bivol, he responded to this announcement, and this is what he said. He said, "I always wanted to fight the best. I believe that the rest of my goals will begin to materialize on May 7th. So as you guys can see clearly, Bivol, he's not a big talker. He's not going to be talking about beating Canelo's ass, etc., etc. But don't let that fool you. Dimitry Bivol will definitely be Canelo Alvarez's most dangerous opponent in the last 4 years. The last time Golovkin was in a fight that was this dangerous is when he fought Golovkin in the rematch. Now, it's pretty interesting because I definitely thought that Canelo Alvarez, he would pick Charlo, especially after Charlo's last performance. But apparently Canelo, he believes that Bivol will be an easier fight. Because Canelo Alvarez has fought so many European/white fighters, he's gotten used to their style and he believes he can walk all of them down. He believes they're uncomfortable on the inside. Once he lands punches to the body, that's when he starts to take the air out of the tires. And eventually he will get him out of there towards the 4th quarter of the fight. This is what he's banking on when it comes to Bivol. When it comes to Charlo, you know, I had someone send me a comment in my comment section in the last video I did, and he said, "I disagree with you. You know, I don't believe that Bivol is an easier fight than Charlo." First of all, I never said that Bivol was easier. I said that Canelo feels that Bivol is easier. Now, this is what it comes down to if you're comparing Canelo or if you're comparing Charlo to Bivol as an opponent for Canelo. If we're talking about the Charlo that fought Fernando Montiel, then that will definitely be an easier fight than the Bivol fight. If we're talking about a Jamal Charlo that fought Sergey Derevyanchenko or even Julian J. Rock Williams, then Charlo would be the most difficult fight. And I've already explained to you guys, I feel Canelo Alvarez, he looked at it that way. He said to himself, sure, Charlo, he looked bad in his last fight against Montiel. But what if the best version of Charlo shows up the night that I fight him? Which is extremely possible. Another reason we know that Canelo does not feel that Charlo is an easier fight than Bivol is because Canelo Alvarez, he could have fought Charlo back at 154 when Charlo was the junior middleweight champion and Charlo had just came off of the biggest win of his career, knocking out the undefeated mandatory Julian J. Rock Williams. That would have been a perfect time for Canelo to take that fight. In fact, Charlo was calling out Canelo after he got that win. Then Canelo Alvarez, he decides to move up to 160 instead of trying to unify the belts where Andrade and Charlo were the champions, or actually Andrade and the Charlo brothers were the champions. Canelo moves up to 160, then Charlo becomes his mandatory. And Canelo still doesn't fight him. So clearly, Canelo Alvarez, he sees something really, really special in Jamal Charlo. And the difference from a Jamal, the best Jamal versus the best Bivol, is Jamal Charlo, not only can he fight at a distance, he's also comfortable fighting on the inside, as we've seen in the Derevyanchenko fight. But don't just take my word for it when I tell you that Canelo, he believes that Charlo is a very special fighter, because Canelo's own trainer, he called Jamal Charlo a spectacular fighter. And outside of Floyd Mayweather, Canelo's team has never said this about any potential opponents for Canelo Alvarez, but they said this about Jamal Charlo. In fact, let me quote exactly what he said. So this is what Canelo Alvarez's trainer said when he was asked about a potential fight against Jamal Charlo. He said, Canelo versus Charlo is a good fight. Charlo has a lot of qualities. He's spectacular, tall for the division, strong, and he has good boxing skills. So like I told you guys before, Canelo Alvarez and his team, they realized that spectacular version of Jamal Charlo may end up showing up when it comes to the Canelo Alvarez fight. Now, don't get me wrong, the Bivol fight is still a difficult fight because it's an upgrade from a Yildirim, a Rocky Fielding, a Caleb Plant, or a Billy Joe Saunders. This is a real fight. This will be another fight where Canelo will be getting outboxed. He'll be losing a lot of the earlier rounds, and he's once again going to be banking on walking down and catching up with Bivol in the later rounds. The question is, will he be able to do it with this caliber of an opponent? A fighter who has unbelievable angles and a great jab. Once again, he may not be an inside fighter, but he makes up for it when he controls range. So we'll see how it plays out. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at Scalp, Carolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP, and I saw some pictures of some guys, before and after, and I was looking at that, and it caught my attention, so I Googled it. SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, Scalp Carolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, can you fix this? And, he pretty much said, no problem. My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked and, about our families and our life, and, and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, Scalp Carolinas, to get this done.